Welcome to my house, welcome to my room, and welcome to my library. I've mainly got mathematics, physics and computer science books, but there are some English literature and history books as well. Now in this video, what I am intending to do is to work through some of my mathematics books, but they're mathematics of a particular genre. Now, they're not what I would term popular mathematics books. Now, by popular, I kind of mean a book for a layman who doesn't want to look at any equations, who just wants words and some pictures. So they're not popular in that sense, but they're not textbooks that you would use in a mathematics course. They're kind of in an in-between spot. And these are the types of books I really quite enjoy. I like the mathematics to be quite wordy. I like to have some images, some pictures, and I also like to have just the core mathematics as well. So let's go through these books here. I think I've got about 14 or 15 of them, and they're not full book reviews. I don't have time to go through full book reviews, and also I haven't covered all the details in these books. Now, one thing I was thinking about doing was actually picking one of these 15 and working through it cover to cover over the space of a month or so, or possibly longer, and then actually going ahead and doing like a full mathematical book review. I think that would be quite an interesting process, but I haven't decided which one to do that with. And possibly you can write down in the comments of all the books which ones you would prefer me to go over and work through as a full book review. So they're not in any kind of order here, but I will pick out 3 of them that I think out of all of them are the 3 that I would pick if you were going to buy any of these. So the first book I'm going to come up with here is What is Mathematics? Now this is quite a famous book, and I think it's famous partly because it's got a review by Einstein. So it's quite an old book. I think it was 1948 or something it came out. Now, I'm not going to talk through all of the stuff that's in the book. What I can do is just quickly flick through just to give you an indication of the kind of writing style. So you can see it's quite wordy, but you do have the mathematics. You've got a few diagrams as well. Okay, so there is a lot of words in it, but there's a lot of mathematics as well. So that's quite a famous book, and just by coincidence, this is going to be one of the top 3 books that I would pick out of this list. And you can see that this is a modern copy of it, so it's just been there's been new reprints of it done over the years, so it shows you how popular this book is, and it's quite famous as well. So that's the first one. Now the next one I've got here is Foundations and Fundamental Concepts of Mathematics by Howard Eaves. Again, this is when I've bought this, I've gone through and I've been interested in foundations of mathematics, and I've picked this one out after reading reviews on it, and you can see it's quite wordy, but it's still quite mathematically detailed as well. Okay, so it just gives you an indication of the type of book it is. Okay, now the intention of the video is that if there's anything here that catches your eye and you think, well, that area would be quite interesting, then you can always go on to Amazon or go online somewhere and find full reviews. And also, as I said, you can have a look and see the books I go through, and then you can put down in the comments below the ones that you think would be interesting for the one that you think would be interesting for me to work through cover to cover. Okay, so that's the second one. Again, we've got 14 here, so we don't want to hang about for too long. Now, I was intending to put a course together on infinity, So I wanted to get a couple of books that were kind of general mathematics books on infinity. So the first one I've got is Playing with Infinity, Mathematical Explorations and Excursions by, it looks like Rosa Peter. Now this is quite a simple book actually. Mathematically it's quite simple, but it does cover some nice concepts and ideas on infinity. Okay, plenty of images and plenty of text to describe it in terms in English language. Okay, so I've worked through sections of this book and I've recreated some of the algorithms that are in the book on the in Python, and I've also created some of the stuff in Desmos as well, which is an online graphical calculator. So it's been quite good. Okay, it's quite a nice little book. Now the other one I had on infinity is Understanding Infinity, The Mathematics of Infinite Processes by Gardner. Now Gardner, again, he creates really nice mathematics book of this kind of genre. Okay, so there's plenty of mathematical detail in it, but also plenty of wordy descriptions. And there's quite a few images as well, figures. Okay, so that's another one which I intend to work through, both of these and some other stuff I have on infinity, to create a nice little course on infinity and mathematics. Now let's see here, another, say, reasonably famous book here, Mathematics and Plausible Reasoning by Polya. Okay, famous mathematician. This is in the volume 1 and 2 in the same book. Again, just a quick flick through, just for you to see it. Hopefully you can see that okay. Okay. Plenty of words and images now and again, and a lot of mathematics. Okay, so now it's quite a famous book from a famous mathematician, or famous two books from a famous mathematician. I haven't worked through it, I haven't really, I've just glanced at it. Again, some of these books are kind of aspirational at the moment. Aspirational in the sense that I aspire to have enough time to work through them. Now let's see, another reasonably famous one, saying How to Think Like a Mathematician by Houston. I mention these names as if I actually know the person. Of course I don't. Again, we have some nice imagery and plenty of words and descriptions. Okay. Now I would read through the contents, but it takes too long. The video would just go on forever. And if you're interested in any of the books, you'll get the contents on Amazon. The point here is this is what's in my library, and this is what has caught my eye over the years. Okay. Now there's a small book here, Gödel's Proof. Okay. Of course, I was wanting to understand Gödel's proof, and this has got a nice little description of that proof. Okay. Now, again, I've worked through this, but it was many years ago. I do remember when I worked through it, I didn't feel like I really got it completely, and I was looking for some other books to cover it, but I never got around to it, and I moved on to other things. So this is one that's kind of still sitting in the background a little bit. But the next one is the only hardback here, and it's Infinite Powers. So it's really the story of, it's the story of calculus, the language of the universe, a hardback edition. And if you're interested in really calculus, differentiation, integration, and some of the history behind it, and also comprehending and understanding it, then this would be an excellent read, and it's the one I would suggest that you go out and get. Of course, that's a hardback edition, I can't remember how much I paid for it, but you'll be able to get it again on Amazon. So a lot of good pictures, wordy, mathematics, and some good descriptions, and a lot of history of the mathematics as well. So well worth a read. I've read through most of that one. This is an older book. I'm not sure. I actually forgot I had this. It's called Catastrophe Theory. So I got this back in 1992 when catastrophe theory was just, I think it was just really just becoming a thing. A lot of images and pictures. It's a long time since I've even picked this off of the shelf, so I can't remember very much that was in it. But it's just, as I've noted before, something that's caught my eye, and it might catch your eye. Okay, so that's by this guy here, Woodcock and Davis. Now the next one here, going through my analysis phase, how to think about analysis. So analysis is one of those subjects, when you first come across it as an undergraduate, can be a bit of a mind fart. So here's a nice introduction to analysis with plenty of words and drawings and also the mathematics. Okay. So if you're an undergraduate first year and you're looking for a book on analysis to help you, then this is a suggestion. The other ones I'm interested in, the foundation. So we've got the Introduction to the Foundations of Mathematics by Wilder. Again, the kind of aspirational books. I have not time to work through really much of it, but again, another book that I think would be an interesting read. Okay, I feel like I'm not going through in any detail here. I think the interesting thing is for you to have a vote or write down below in the comment section, and I can pick one of these to go through in detail. Now this is a famous one as well, another one by Polya, the second on the list by Polya, How to Solve It. Okay, so obviously solving mathematical equations, and here's a top class world class mathematician telling you how to go about some mathematics. Okay, again a wordy, descriptive book. Another one, in fact the last two on my list are another two that they would be the top of the list here. So in fact this book here, Elements of Mathematics from Gödel, Euclid to Gödel by Stilwell, this is the one I would probably, of all the 15 books I went through here, this is the one that I would pick out the list as a favourite. But it's only a favourite in the sense that it's the only one I've worked through most of it, because I do enjoy Stilwell's writing style. He has created a book on the history of mathematics, which I've gone through as well. So this would become the top of my list if I was to pick any of these books. Now the second one on the list would be this one here, Lectures on the Philosophy of Mathematics by Hampkins. And I think if I was to choose one which I would like to work through next, it would probably be this one. Okay, so again, history, a philosophy of mathematics, and it's in colour as well. Some of the images are in colour. Okay, so it's a beautiful little book, and this would probably become second on this list. So let me pick out the top three here from all of these books. The first one is this one here. Okay, so of all of the books, my third on the list would be this one here. The second on the list would be this one, and the top of my list would be this one here. And if I was voting on which book to cover next, cover to cover, it would probably be this one here. So let me just quickly, if we've got time now, just go through the sections that are in this and see whether this sounds interesting. Numbers, so it goes through Platonism, logicism, lots of isms, and there's a section on rigour in mathematics, a section on infinity, geometry, proof, computability, which would be really interesting actually, incompleteness, set theory, and that's the end of it. So that's the basic contents of the book. So that's, I think it's actually 14. It's actually 14 books that I've covered. Now I'm going to go through the same process but with my physics books. So I'll find that middle ground, that middle genre that I quite enjoy, and pick one of these books, put a comment below, and I'll see if I can come up with any consensus, and I will work through one of these books over a couple of months and then create a real full mathematical book review for one of them. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll get you on the next video. Goodbye.